Hey y'all, Rick Sky here, back again with another live show. And I want to remind everyone at 8 p.m. New York City time, Thursday evening, that's tomorrow evening, I'll be doing a live show from the studio. But want to do this live show just, walking around and get some ideas for tomorrow's scheduled live show at 8 p.m. New York City time. See people tuning in. Welcome aboard, everyone. That's obviously this show. The format. A lot of y'all tune in every day, so super nice. Got a ton of always a ton of super chat, and I still owe Andrea the didgeridoo studio tomorrow night to celebrate Andrea's generous super chats, and also the super chats that will come in during today's live show. So, and today's and tomorrow's in the studio. So yeah, man, it's hot as usual. Just out here getting some exercise. As I mentioned, I've got a lot of drone videos that are being edited. I've done some work in the studio. Had to switch, actually upgraded memory in my primary editing computer. Now I'm using 32 gigs, which is a lot better when you're doing 4K video. 16 gigs will do it, it'll get the job done. But if you're working on multiple monitors and you've got some other applications running concurrently, congested. So for that reason, my professional recommendation is at least 16 gigs for video editing now, and I would even lean more towards 32 gigs or more. I've been monitoring my memory utilization on my MacBook Pro, and typically with the 32 gigs, even when I'm really hitting it hard and I've got compressor running and I'm editing in Final Cut Pro 10 concurrently 4K video, usually around 27, 28 gigs utilization, kind of peaking out, so that's nice. And obviously with 8 cores with the CPUs, it handles itself really well. I was concerned with the with the MacBook Pro 16-inch. I was concerned that the lesser clock speed, because I was coming from a 2.9. So I came from a 2.9 i9 with 6 cores to a 2.3 i9 with 8 cores. But I found that the speed and just overall performance and all things considered of the 8-core i9 2.3 gigahertz, it trumps the 6-core 2.9 gigahertz. And I think a lot of that has to do with the the 6-core i9. That was a let's see, was it 2018 model MacBook Pro, 15.4 inch. The 2019 is the 16 inch. So you've got a slightly larger screen refinement, so you might not notice looking at both MacBook Pros in person. And some of those refinements are Jake, good evening from Kingston, Ontario, for me and my sisters. Hello, Jake and sisters. Always good to have y'all here. Welcome aboard. We're just kind of talking about MacBook Pro and, the differences between the older version MacBook Pro and the current version 16-inch MacBook Pro. So, bigger, better keyboard, better battery life. It's got a 100-watt-hour battery life, which apparently, at least at the time of filming this, is probably the largest size battery that you're allowed to travel with. McKenna and Maya say hi, Rick Sky. Hey, McKenna and Maya, welcome aboard. Welcome aboard to the live show. We got a bunch of people tuning in here. This is awesome. Sunny out here, just trying to break a sweat. As I had mentioned earlier, the studio live show. So mark your calendar, set a reminder, tell your friends, tell your colleagues. tomorrow at 8 p.m. New York City time, which is actually this time, tomorrow, 8 p.m. New York City time, I'm going to be doing a live show from the studio. So we'll have the didgeridoo, the tribal drum, and the sound of the super chat. So I'll be celebrating Andrea's super chat from yesterday. Oh, speaking of Andrea, hello, out early evening walk. And then it says, let's see, Andrea says, hello, out for my early evening walk too, sunny, and have my shades on. Awesome, very nice. Hey, and I had that, thanks to your super chat, I was able to enjoy that fruity smoothie, non-alcoholic smoothie after my walk yesterday. So that was deeply appreciated. I still owe you the sound of the super chat, and I'll be doing that during my live show, 8 p.m. New York City time tomorrow. And something else, if anybody would like to be face on video during an upcoming live show, shoot me just shoot me a message on facebook.com/IrixGuy, and I'll be happy to see if I can work you into an upcoming live show. I think that'd be cool if we had several people live on camera. Obviously if you wanted to be, there's no pressure. But let's see here. Who else do we have? Jake says, this morning, and we could hear the foghorn from the lighthouse. We could hear the foghorn from the lighthouse in Cape Vincent, New York, across the St. Lawrence River. Very cool. Andrea says, might have one too after my walk tonight. Yeah, smoothie's way to do it. I think tomorrow I'm actually going to get some bananas and some peaches and some strawberries and do a really loaded up fruit smoothie. I made DC is good. And then me and my sisters can tune in. Very cool. Apple Worldwide Developers Conference every year has been, a physical event. This year, it'll be virtual. It's going to be on June the 22nd. And strong rumors suggest that Apple's about to unveil a new series of computers. They're supposed to be revealing a new iMac, which is their one of the computers. It's supposed to have a better display, radically redesigned. They haven't redesigned the iMac in many years now. And the iMac, without a doubt, has the best display of any computer on the market. It's got a 5K display. But the new iMac is supposed to be even better. So that's going to be exciting. So strong rumors suggest that Apple's going to be breaking away from Intel, and they're going to be going with ARM-based CPUs. So Apple is about to enter the... Andrea says, oh, that would be interesting to see the new iMacs. Definitely. And that's something, if they release as expected, and I'm kind of leaning more towards an announcement versus an actual being able to pre-order. My guess is that if they announce them, that probably start to become available the end of 2020, maybe the early part of 2021. But I'm excited about it because, an iMac, and I remember using iMac, the original iMac, the one with the like all the different rainbow colors, the big plastic, CRT type monitor. That's when I started with Mac, was that. And, that's right when OS X came out. The only reason I started using Mac was because they released Mac OS X, which is Unix-based operating system. I did not like the older Mac OS operating systems. They were too much point and click. I wanted my Unix shell. And Mac OS X is built on top of Unix. So, great, super reliable. And it's something when it releases, obviously, that's something I want to add to the studio, because having a MacBook Pro is awesome. My 8-core MacBook Pro is a beast. Jake says, the foghorn of Cape Vincent Lighthouse has an old diaphone air horn foghorn dating from 1975 and a modern electronic fog signal, which we heard this morning. The diaphone is sounded at noon. Jake says, and it sounds like an old diaphone fog signal the Duluth Lighthouse in Minnesota had. Very cool. Duluth, is that, I know where that is. Duluth / wait, this way, / I got it, man. Hybrid Life. Dude that super chats and received the video he requested of the Korean spicy 2X noodles. Always appreciated. So, yeah, I got a ton of people tuning in. Hybrid Life, I was telling everybody else earlier, tomorrow evening at this time, at 8 p.m. New York City time, I'll be live in the studio. So I'll be celebrating tomorrow all of the super chats from yesterday with the didgeridoo, and then all the super chats that come in today. Jake said, oh, I got a super chat. Oh, you Hybrid Life. Oh, you a sound of the didgeridoo, the sound of the super chat. Super duper cool. So everybody, you saw what Hybrid Life just did. If you choose to do so, you can super chat. It's that little funny looking button in your chat stream. Jake says, if you want to look up Duluth Lighthouse foghorn, look up the vid by Terry Pepper. It has an old diaphone sounding, I believe, 1965. I'll do that. Man, $10 super chat. You are welcome, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much. That is awesome. Got these super chats coming in. It's the beauty of YouTube. You know, you get out and create these videos. Yeah, sorry about that trip. I hit some and the cell towers just blow. If I lose connection, I'll be right back. I mean, I don't. Jake says it was recorded during a rainstorm. Very cool. Good thing about the wind, though, it cools things off and not as hot doing this walk and live stream, man. So, yeah, so Apple's got all this cool stuff coming. They've got, the new ARM-based computers, ARM CPUs. So that's going to be interesting to see how those perform. But yeah, I'm excited about the iMac. I hope the price point's palatable and hope that the specs are great, because I really want to put one, for on the road edits, a dedicated. Oh yeah, Mavic Air 2. A lot of Mavic Air 2 questions yesterday. I've fielded all of those into my to-do list. Old 1920s diaphone fog sounds like. Yeah, man. Lighthouses are cool, because if they didn't have them, you'd have more boats, crashing up on shore. That's not a good thing, You don't want to crash your vessel. Not good stuff. It can be dangerous too. The sea is nothing to joke about. Being Captain Irix guy, I've seen some exciting stuff while at sea. And you see so many people at sea that aren't taking it seriously. And I'm just like, you gotta take it seriously, because the sea is no joke. It's not like a swimming pool. You can just swim to the side and get out. Jake says, and what it sounded like in the old days before radar beacons come along. Radar beacons. Those, I like those spinning radar things. Those just look cool. It's really cool are the boats that have a garage. And that's something that, a bunch of captains always said. They said, you've done something right when when your boat's got a garage. Jake says during the 20s and the 30s. Okay, that was a long time ago, man. That was before they had the coronavirus. Trump said, "Have you seen the foghorn? What's it made? What's it made of?" I like foghorns, man. That's a, you know, it's a cool sound. It's like super cool sound. The sound of the foghorn. We will have the sound of the super chat tomorrow. The sound of the super chat. So yeah, YouTube is really pumping out some solid tools. I mean, what do y'all think about the new YouTube Creator Studio interface? You know, do y'all have any negative feedback or anything that you think should be better? I mean, I know I've scrutinized the heck out of it, and I tell you, YouTube's been very responsive, highly responsive in regards to responding to what I think are, you know, some of those were my observations, and it's a good feeling, you know, to use a tool, to use a platform they seem to care about. Jake says Terry's vid will give you an idea of what the old, let's see here, of what the old diphone fog signal sounded like in the 20s to the 90s. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check out Terry's video when I return to the studio and crank up. That was one of the coolest upgrades this year for our Skies Adventure Channel studio, the acoustic panels, because now, regardless of whether I'm recording audio with a professional microphone or if I'm just watching videos, you know, the audio, that room now is so acoustically sound. Andrea says, what does that consist of for YouTube Creative? Well, YouTube Creator Studio, so YouTube basically rebranded their platform. Well, not rebranded the platform, but they redesigned I guess the better way to put it is that they redesigned the user interface. So more of a type interface, really optimize the visual layout of everything. And if you want to do a live video, now you just click go live, the little plus sign, and you can go live immediately, or comments moved. They've added a feature now which is really cool, especially for YouTube content creators that have longer duration videos, in particular tutorial videos. I haven't used it yet, but I plan to, where you can select time frames within timestamps within the video, and you can put in like a little index card. So it'll say, you know, 0 through 1 minute is this topic, and, you know, 1 minute through 3 minutes is, you know, how to do this or whatever. So they've gotten really, really cool with, you know, some of the things. I also like the YouTube cards. You know, when you're watching my videos and you see those little pop-ups in the top right, those are cards. So if I'm doing a YouTube or a Mavic Air 2 video, I might have a few cards pop up that'll, you know, allow viewers. Yeah, Andrea, it is really cool to click and check out other videos and or playlist. The end screen feature is nice. You know, you've probably seen what I'm able to do with it. Yeah, it sounds like a lot more options. Yeah, Trep, I really like the features too. The end screen is super nice because, you know, talking to YouTube strategists and others, you know, the one thing that's really important is, you know, driving those subscriptions, and typically if someone's watched your video and if they're seeing the end screen, you know, at the end of the video, more than likely they enjoyed your video because they watched it in its entirety probably, or they fast forwarded through. When they see that, that's a visual reminder, hey, did you know you can subscribe to my channel, and please do so. So that's a cool feature. Yeah, it's just it's a really slick interface here. Let's see. Jake says a diphone is what a foghorn of the 20s to 60 eras used to sound. Works like a bellows by forcing air through the horn. Cool. Super cool. Yeah, I use a bell to start my fires when I go backpacking. I actually saved my tail during one of the most recent trips because it got down to 5 degrees Fahrenheit. And if I didn't have that fire going, I would have been in, well, I mean, I would have survived because I had, plenty of down insulated gear, but it wouldn't have been pleasant. So I had to get the fire going. Man, the birds are chirping. The wind is blowing, that's for sure. So yeah, Apple, that's going to be some big stuff this month. Obviously more Mavic Air 2 videos, running through and addressing all of your questions. Trev says, I'm back in Western Oregon. Temperature is 73. 73 is a really good temperature, man. Super good. Super duper good. Not hot, not cold, just pretty much chilled out, Go outside, don't sweat. That's a good temperature. But I do like the extreme cold because, you're able to build a fire and try to warm up. Yeah, it is. I bet it is a lot more comfortable. Oregon, man, y'all got mountains and stuff out there. That's cool. I like that area, man. I've like British Columbia. Jake says, the old Duluth Lighthouse iPhone fog signal sounded like one long blast every 2 minutes. Every 2 minutes, but this pattern can vary for each lighthouse from every 2 minutes, every 30 minutes, 4 minutes. Andrea says it's 90 here. Wow, 90 degrees. That's 90 degrees. That's when I want to be in the water. Yeah, degrees is pretty pretty warm. Muy fuego. Very hot. Yeah, that is hot. It's just really windy. This wind keeps blowing. I hope there's not a hurricane coming. Maybe not. But yeah, man, Hybrid Life did that super chat. Super awesome. Can't beat the super chats. Got a super chat from Hybrid Life today. Got a super chat from Andrea yesterday. And got a bunch of people tuning. This is just, this is a walk around show. Wait till we have that at 8 p.m. New York City tomorrow, that live show from the studio. I got a whole bag of tricks I'll be breaking out. 90 whatever says San Antonio, Texas was 101 yesterday. Cooled down to 93. Man, Texas. I love Texas barbecue, man. Really good stuff. Timing on it. That's interesting that they would have changed the timing of the foghorn. Very, very interesting. Man, you're making me want to hop on a boat and go out and check out some lighthouses, man. Lighthouse. That's right. So, we talked about Apple. We talked about Mavic Air 2. We talked about foghorns. Jake says it hit 30 degrees Celsius in Kingston, Ontario, Canada. When I think of Kingston, I think of Jamaica, man. It's a fun place. It can be dangerous in Jamaica, though. I've places in every country, though. Kingston, Ontario. I got to go to Ontario, man. I think there's I wouldn't go on an airplane right now, but done with my walk, broke a sweat. There you go, 9 degrees, Andrea. Way to go. Way to go. That's 86 degrees American temp. You're right. Trev says it would be cool if the DJI Smart Controller has Apple. If you were ever on a cruise ship, time how long they sound the foghorn. Yeah, it's interesting because they usually, it's like, it's usually pretty extended. It's not just like a quick, How far am I on my walk? I've only walked a couple miles so far. Nothing too intense. Actually, not really intense at all. Do you know where Toronto, Ontario, Canada? Kingston is 2 hours to the east. Yeah, I know where Toronto is on a map. I've been, admittedly, the only place I've been in Canada is British Columbia. And that's West Coast. I think that it would be cool to go, to go to that area, just go up there and eat some food and film some YouTube videos, But I can't do it till this Rona goes away. I'm not getting on an airplane. I'm not getting near an airplane or a bus or anything. Jake says, I meant the pattern between horn blasts. You will get 2-minute intervals. Oh, I'll time that the next time I'm at sea, which is probably going to be a while. Speaking of that, there's some deals for cruise ships. If you're looking for a cruise, it is very expensive right now. But yeah, just walking around here, walking and rambling on the live show. So yeah, other developments. Let's see, Sigma is out with 100 to 400 millimeter Sony lens. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Sony FE, which is Sony full frame mount. That's exciting. Tamron has come out with a variety of new Sony FE lenses. Sony is allegedly about to release, let's see, Jake says if you ever have, if you have ever been on the 401 on your way to Ottawa from Ontario, you will pass through Kingston. Cool. Maybe I'll go to, maybe I'll fly up to Toronto after this Rona clears and get some poutine. I love my fries and gravy. Get some of that. And just check out that part of Canada. I've never been there. Like I said, I've only been to British Columbia on the West Coast. So that'd be a good change of scenery. People driving by staring at me like, what's that guy holding in his hand? It's pretty funny. I don't care. It's a live stream. And I'm here for y'all. I'm here for super chats. And I'm here for, just to film YouTube videos. Why not? That is crazy. Yeah, got about 2.5 miles in, I would say, which isn't great, but it's progress. So, let's see. Tomorrow's live show is going to be, I think y'all are going to like the new studio setup. I better set up the studio set, and I was talking the other day, I've got that chaise lounge that has a bed built in. It's a sofa chaise lounge. Miner Jeff says BC is the coolest province. Yeah, I mean, BC's cool just because, you got those mountains and you've got, I've never been to a place that had all those cedar trees, those hemlock trees. I've never seen anything like that. And then the lakes, when you fly over the lakes in British Columbia, they're like mirrors. You can see everything. It's really cool. I captured some really cool drone videos there. I wish, that's the place I want to go back with my current cameras and my current drones and really capture some cool content, because that's just a really cool country. I'd love to go up there and do a multi-night backpacking trip. I think that would be, do that and maybe even go and look for, try to see if I can find Bigfoot. Because there's a lot of Bigfoot sightings in that area, so in British Columbia. So that would be very cool. But BC is the coolest province. Yeah, no doubt. Well, and I say that just because it is awesome. And, I haven't been anywhere else in British Columbia. So Jake said, me and my buddy this morning timed let's see. Me and my buddy this morning timed the Cape Vincent Lighthouse fog signal, and we timed it at 4-minute pulses in between sounds. Very cool. The foghorn. Wouldn't that be cool if you had like a... Jake says Ontario is also in it. Now, Ontario, y'all got a bunch of people there that speak French, don't you? Do you have really good French food? Or what's the most popular food in, just if you had to say one dish in Ontario, what would be the most popular food? If you said, okay, Ontario is famous for, what would that food item be? What would be the food item that immediately comes to mind? If you've got somebody coming to Ontario and you're going to say, they say, well, what should I eat here? What is Ontario famous for? And you would say, what would you say? There's got to be an answer. There's got to be an answer, man. For sure. Yeah. Getting close to 3 miles, which is progress. I tell you, I can't wait for this Rona to blow over so I can get to the gym. Cardio alone is not enough. So there were pauses, not pulses. Pauses. Like a delay, a pause. Y'all can probably hear that wind. The wind's blowing really strong. Super strong wind. Super duper strong. I'm going to switch to my left hand here. There we go. Now my camera's in my other hand. I really wish that the Sony ZV-1, 90 whatever said, if you had not worked a kettlebell workout routine into your strength training, it's a fantastic addition. I know a lot of people that use kettlebells, and that's a good suggestion. I need to start with that. And actually, and I don't want to get a home gym because that's why I've got a gym membership, but I do want to pick up, if they become available again, those Bowflex Select Tech dumbbells, because you basically get 2 dumbbells and then you just tune it to whatever weight that you want. And I think the range is like 5 to 55 pounds. So, about the most I'm going to use is going to be a 55-pound dumbbell anyway. And that would be on a flat bench. I've actually never have I ever worked out with more than 55. Normally on a flat bench, I'll just do 45 or 50. Because I don't really care about getting, my thing is just getting ripped. I don't really care about, making myself really bulked up and looking like a bodybuilder. I mean, that's not my objective. I just want to get ripped again. And it's hard when you don't have a gym because of the thing. But I mean, there could be worse things. I mean, we're all complaining we can't do this, we can't do that because of the pandemic. But reality is we find a lot of other things we can do, like YouTube live streaming, where, right now I'd probably be at the gym, but since there's a pandemic, I'm doing more YouTube live streams. And it's great because, Jake says, and to answer your question on what food recommend a newcomer Canada, I would have to either say, let's see, Poutine or Beavertails. They are very popular. You know what's funny? I've had both. I love the Poutine, the fries and gravy, and I love the Beavertails, the little flat ice cream things. Those are awesome. Actually, I had a Beavertail on the slopes at Whistler. I was up there, because I'm a beginner skier, so I was up there at the bunny slope, and I was at the Beavertails eating a beavertail. And then I got back on the magic carpet and got up there. It was icy when I was in Whistler. So, trying to learn to ski and it being icy was not a relaxing experience, to say the least. I'm surprised I didn't break any bones, but I did enjoy the Beavertails and the Poutine. Very cool. Yeah, and then you got that good Canadian whiskey, that Crown Royal. Now, is Crown Royal the best Canadian whiskey, or is there better Canadian whiskey? I mean, I know that's the one, that typically outside of Canada that people think is Canadian, the top Canadian whiskey. But is it really, or is there Is there a better whiskey? Yeah, that is interesting. Rolling in the super chats, it's awesome. So yeah, we're gonna do 8 p.m. New York City tomorrow, and that's gonna be from the studio. And I was going to the studio today, but I'm like, you know what? The weather's so good. Jake says, in my opinion, Crown Royal is the best, but there could be others. Yeah, there's one called Canadian Club, and that's the one if I'm really broke and I want to get Canadian whiskey, I'll get Canadian Club. And honestly, it's not bad for a lower tier whiskey. You know, it's better. Canadian Club's better than a lot of cheap whiskeys from other countries. So yeah, y'all do some things right with that, man, for sure. Definitely do. Man, yeah, I can't wait to try, because tomorrow when I do the live stream, it'll be my first live stream from the 8-core MacBook Pro. So it'll be interesting to see how well that's going to perform. I think the chroma key is going to be better. I don't know if I mentioned the other streams you've done that I'm not a big drinker of alcohol. Yeah, I'm not either, because I work out a lot. But when I'm not, I like the premium stuff. That's the thing. And you can't, unless you're, a multi-millionaire, you can't drink the premium stuff. The stuff I drink is, I get it in the Caribbean and I have it for a few years. It's that good. So, I'm not. Now, granted, if I'm out at the beach or something, I'll just take some cheap, like Natty Light or something. Infused Adventures, what's up, man? Jake says, I say I'm a moderate to minimum. Yeah, that's the best way to be. Because it's, it's expensive and it's not healthy. Although I do believe, and again, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a lawyer, but I do personally feel that, a good, an occasional drink is actually good. Which I'm sure it won't, but I like to convince myself it'll kill the Rona if you got the Rona. But who knows? Who knows? Jake says, too much actually can trigger a seizure to me. Ooh, yeah, you don't want that. Not good. I would say too much. I would say, you know what, I wouldn't even piddle with any of it if that was the case. That's not a joke about, man. Be safe. Is that a UFO up there, or is that just a cloud? Oh, it's just a cloud. Sorry, I thought I saw a UFO. Speaking of UFOs, since Starlink, John says, what's up, brother? Hope you're doing good tonight. Doing great, man. Good to see you on board, on deck. And again, tomorrow night, 8 p.m. New York City time, doing another live show. That's a scheduled live show. You can go ahead, go to irishguy.com, and Andrea, hey, got to go to dinner time for me. Andrea, have a great dinner. Always good to see you. And don't forget, 8 p.m. New York City time tomorrow, we'll be in the studio. Jake says, that's why I quit smoking. It was causing them too. Yeah, man, you don't want to do that. Definitely, Andrea, sound the super chat. The sound of the super chat is a thanks for your super chats. Always appreciate it. So that sun is bright. Getting some good exercise. Yeah, it'll make you overweight, dude. You don't want to. My thing is, my thing is, staying away. Here's the thing. If you exercise and you eat whatever you want within reason, vegetables and that sort of stuff, and you don't put a lot of sauces on it, you know, you can pretty much eat whatever you want to eat. And thank you. And Fuse says they were saying somewhere that the Mavic Air 2 isn't true 48 megapixel. They said it's just a software thing to make, interesting, man. You've been digging into the Mavic Air 2. That's, you know, and that wouldn't surprise me. And that's when I do the Mavic Air 2 still photos field test, that's something I want to play around with. And, you know, once I get those photos, I think it'll be cool, you know, to look at them under the microscope and see if, you know, if that detail, if there's a lack of detail. And like you said, maybe it's a faked 48 megapixel. Who knows? That's interesting. You're the first person that's mentioned that, actually. So that is super cool. So yeah, just getting this workout in. 90, whatever I heard, it is 4 stitched together 12 megapixel photos. That would make sense. Yeah, because 12 times 4 is 48. Huh. Interesting. That is very interesting, actually. Well, and, you know, despite, you know, whether it's 12 or a faked 48, it's going to be interesting to see how it looks. Because that's one thing I do a lot with now is Lightroom. And with Lightroom, because I shoot all my photos with Sony Alpha, and I'll do the same with Mavic Air 2. I shoot all my photos in RAW. So within post-production, I have maximum flexibility with adjusting saturation, exposure, etc. Because you just get more, you know, with the raw data, you can make a potentially great photo look amazing, you know. So it's very interesting. Yeah, that's going to be, so see, now when I look at these photos, you know, I'm going to be questioning, you know, does it look like a faked 48 megapixel or does it look like a real 48 megapixel? Would be interesting to see you take the Mavic Air 2 48 megapixel photo and compare it to a true high megapixel from your side. That is a great test. Let me add that to my cut sheet, because that'll be, yeah, because I mean, actually the A7R3 that I have, let's see, what is it? Is it 61 or I think it's 62 megapixel. I mean, it's insane, the resolution. So I'll shoot some stills with the A7R4 with the Sony G Master, which is super high resolution lens. I'll shoot that and then compare that to the Mavic Air 2. That's gonna be a good test. And I actually, you know, doing that in a variety of different lighting conditions, because obviously lighting, if you take 2 photos with different lighting, it's not gonna be a good test. Cuba has some beautiful old vehicles. Yeah, that's a place I'd like to go. The only thing, I just wonder, I mean, is it still a safe place to go, or is it kind of iffy? That's the only thing I'm worried about. I mean, it looks awesome, and I've got a bunch of friends that have been to Cuba and they loved it. So I just wonder. Be interesting. Yeah, that would be some awesome. And you know, would they come after you for using a drone there and throw you up in like a Cuban prison or something? I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't think so, but you never know, man. You know, that's where it kind of could get tricky, I guess. I've never been to a communist country. That's the only reason I'm saying that. I mean, nothing against you know, different cultures, but the communist part, I've never been to a communist country, so I don't know what it's like. Yeah, so we're gonna do live show from the studio, 8 p.m. New York City time tomorrow. So mark your calendar, share with your friends, share with people you don't even like. Let's see, Jake says, some date from pre-Soviet era and it's perfectly safe. Just get a vaccine for Zika virus. Yeah, you know, Zika virus is not just Cuba. It's all over the Virgin Islands. So yeah, you don't want to get the Zika. You don't want to get the Zika, and you don't want to get the Rona. But you might want to get some Corona. Yeah, so on that note, I'm going to go ahead and conclude this live stream. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for all the great comments and the super chat, of course. And be sure to tune in tomorrow, 8 p.m. New York City time. Y'all be safe. And Jake says, yeah, the Zika virus originally came from Africa. Thanks for everything.